Kaboom.
Welcome back, everybody, to the more subdued episode of the AIB show. This is Amit.
Dominic.
And we're coming back at you. For those of you on the Facebook, you get 2 videos in one day. For those of you on the podcast or the audio medium, you will get it eventually. Talk to me, Dominic. What do you have?
Health.
Are you doing this again?
And dietary issues. So,
are you seriously doing this again?
Here's why I'm bringing it back. Police are dying of COVID at an alarming rate. Alarming is an interesting word, but let's see there. This is in Puff's show notes.
I'm glad you're doing your own research, but continue.
Pensions, etc., are being paid out at a taxpayer expense. So Puff wants to know. Puff wants to know if they choose not to get the vaccine, should that be a taxpayer expense?
Correct. Because that's the Delta model.
What's the difference if they choose to eat like shit their whole life and die of a heart attack? That's also a taxpayer expense.
No, because it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, hold up. With that being said, no. Here's a caveat. I agree with you there. So many of these jobs, many of these public whatchamacallits, many of these public service jobs like this, firefighters, policemen, et cetera, police people, police force, et cetera, you should have a continual, much like the military, et cetera, physical that you have to do. So yes, I agree with you, because you're apparently chasing down criminals.
What if you're engaging in dangerous activities? Swimming with sharks with no cage and you die. It's a dangerous activity. They're getting paid, right?
That's not. No, who's the day in this situation? Who's the
police? If the police go swimming with sharks, right? Are they getting paid?
Hold up. What? How is this?
Hold on. Why? You see, this is the problem. We're singling it out. All of a sudden, it's like these medical professionals who say, you know what? I don't want to treat this COVID patient because they came in and they didn't have the vaccine and it's too much. But it doesn't matter if you smoke, if you eat it. So my point is, if you're treating every other thing, if you're giving the pension to every other thing, you have to give the pension to this.
But you're not giving the pension everything. This is a.
If you're not,
if you're
not, then I'm okay. So let me ask you this: we're under the impression, and we could be wrong, if you eat like shit, and die of a heart attack on the job or not, your family's gonna get the pension. We're under that impression, right?
No, in that situation, yes. Well, here's what. Yeah, because if it was completely. Yeah, because there's no outline.
And are we under the impression that if Officer Smith went swimming with sharks with no cage, with great whites, this dumbest thing ever, and was chomped and died, we're under the impression he did a dumb thing, stupid thing, or let's not even demean it like that, a risky thing.
Okay.
They would still get it. So why is this any different?
Hold up, but I don't know the to be true.
Wait, you broke up. Say it again.
I don't know that to be true, the shark aspect to be true. I don't know. I'm not saying it's true or false, because the expectation based on the way that I've read various things is that the on-the-job aspect associated with receiving your pension, right? Meaning you are in the line of duty, i.e. you get everything that's there. There are outlying aspects associated with things that happen offline, like workers' compensation. You don't get workers' compensation when you're not working, but you do get workers' when you are performing a job. Right, if you're swimming with a shark, you're not doing anything job related. So I would expect you don't get the same thing as if you were shot in the line of duty. This is an assumption that I'm making.
I don't think so, because what if you were just?
No. You get the stuff that's paid. I think there are additional things, like you're obviously paying into your insurance or whatever. You're gonna get something, but you're not gonna get this. Again, is an assumption that I'm making. If anybody knows, please correct me or chime in and let us know where I'm off on this. But I don't believe they are the same scenario. So with that assumption is why I brought up this question, saying that with that assumption of taking of on-job risk is the assumption I'm making. You are adding to your on-job risk, and you don't have to.
Some officers don't wear vests.
Now,
they get shot.
I'm going on the assumption here that those officers, generally speaking, are people who are not out on the something
What if there was a raid and an officer decided not to wear? Speaking of, that's another thing, because most of these things we shouldn't have these SWAT raids for these drug offenses. That's
fine. If they're committing,
let's say there was a raid, he chose not to. He gets shot. 19 of the other 20 officers. 19 of the other 20 officers were wearing. They got shot. They lived.
Do you know this? Do you know that they have the choice to not or to wear a vest or not? Or is it just a straw man argument? Because I don't know, and you're claiming that.
But how is it relevant?
You just said because that's your argument. Your argument right now was if they choose not to wear a vest. I'm asking if they even have the choice. Because if they don't have the choice to wear a vest or not in a risky scenario, then that goes back to my prior point regarding the vaccine, right? So let's start again. Do you know if they can choose not to wear a vest on a raid? I don't know the answer to that question, by the way.
I don't know.
Okay, so then that argument, let's throw out the door because that could be a complete straw man argument.
Go back, I'm bringing the shark and everything. Go back to the original argument. You treat your body like crap and you die on the job.
True.
What's the difference? No exercise, crap eating, the stereotype.
The likelihood of you dying on the job.
They're not dying of COVID on the job.
But that's what's happening right now.
You're not on the job. You're not arresting somebody.
The people you're talking.
They're not dying on the job. They're dying while having a job. That's what you're saying. They're not dying on the job. No.
They're going out to do their job and contracting COVID and getting really, really sick because they're on the vaccine and then dying, i.e. on the job.
Yeah, but
had they not done what they did, they wouldn't have. But in part of doing their job is how the contraction occurred. Therefore, on the job, therefore you get full coverage. Therefore, hospitals, blah blah blah, and we're back in the same mix. So that is the different situation versus I'm retired and I've eaten like crap and I'm gonna die, but I have.
Yeah, but you're assuming that people are dying in their retirement. That's not the.
Yeah.
That's,
no. That is an assumption I'm making. You are completely right about that.
It's the number one killer in America. It's not like old people are always dying, right? It's not just that, but also. But we talked about this. Delta, and we were cool with it, charging their employees an extra $200. Their unvaccinated employees the $200 premium, right? When you're an officer, this is increasing the cost for everybody.
Hold on. I would totally be down for the hold case. Okay, just so everybody realizes.
I'm saying your poor lifestyle is affecting everybody's costs as an officer.
Which is why you do physicals to maintain certain insurance like that as you progress through. And I don't know how it works in the police force, so I stand back on that one. But I know even my life insurance, etc., I need to make sure I get my physicals. A lot of times you get locked in and stuff. Pardon me?
Yeah, I haven't had in years.
I had to. That's the other issue, right? Once you're locked in, and you kind of stand back.
That's kind of, yeah.
Right? Because then I got my good health when I was young, and then I can F off and do whatever I want. And that's what we all do, by the way. Yeah. Again, going back to my situation, you're trying to change the world for the better, and a lot more people who are not eating processed sugars, et cetera, and very good on you. And I don't know if I will ever see a world where that exists, right? Personally, unless we're living in Demolition Man World 2024 in Los Angeles, where Taco Bell is the hottest.
What year was it? Was it 20?
I think it was 2024. I think so. I'm saying that now. I don't know that to be fact. It may have actually been this year for all I know. But yeah, apparently San Angeles and them eating Taco Bell, but they're not eating a bunch of other stuff and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, these things are it's a very utopian thing, Guy. And good on you for thinking about the world in this very lovely, rosy way. I'm just a little more realistic in the situation where that will not occur. And because the majority, so now you've also got to go back to institutions, you've got unions, et cetera, that govern a lot of these things. So people making the decision, to your point, to limit certain aspects here or to address certain things here by way of this should or shouldn't be covered, et cetera, are they themselves in that scenario? They're not going to do things against themselves, which is the situation. You always fight for the thing that supports, in politics in general, your personal dynamic. Going back to my standard overall thing that people are selfish. So if I'm the head of the union and I'm eating like crap, I'm not going to put that clause in there.
Yeah. All right. But back to this. Obviously not the same, so not comparing it. But what if someone contracted the flu and died? Then get the flu vaccine. Flu vaccine, much lower success rate than the COVID vaccine. It's some 50%, something like that. Right?
The difference we're running to now again is not it. Right now, there's a compound effect. There are hospitals that don't have place for people. There are people that are overworked and stressed, people that are trying to provide health care that are they themselves dying, and so on and so forth.
All have nothing to do with this, though. Nothing to do with what the subject at hand, or whether the union should pay it. Those are all.
Oh, no, but I'm saying, but that's part of the dynamic. The part of the dynamic is,
but public or private policy shouldn't be made based on external factors.
No, hold up. These are civil servants affecting other civil servants and everything else across the board.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dynamic here, and we're paying for it. If Delta employees don't want to do whatever else, it ain't affecting my pocketbook. This is somebody who I'm technically paying for. So it doesn't affect my pocketbook.
Well, what we're really paying for is what I mean. To me,
difference.
This is
private
also
company versus public.
This is also like I don't agree with it, and even if I did, it's a drop in the hat, because every police settlement, which is now in the I think the billions across this country. I know New York is in the.
But
we pay for.
Agreed.
Right?
But I'm with. Okay, that's a huge systemic situation that we cannot resolve in any.
But that doesn't mean if this was wrong, we should ignore it. I'm with it.
That's my point. We got to work on problem 1 first, go to problem 2 and 3, because there's 50 million problems.
No, I don't think this is wrong.
Right.
If we're paying for other things and we don't care that the lifestyle and fitness and the diet and nutrition.
Again, it's not a matter if we don't care. You got to realize that people making the decisions. People making decisions, they themselves fall under that category, and they want to.
We also don't care. You know that. We also don't care.
Correct. Because hold up, we as people generally don't care.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Generally, yeah. Because again, so why am I going to create a rule or law that negatively affects me in my current lifestyle? It's not going to happen. This is my point across everything: is you want this, and I get it, but I don't understand how. I don't see a way in which this happens. Period. If I can't get somebody to wear a mask, I sure as crap can't get somebody to change their diet, because it's gonna get politicized. Because now you're telling me how to live my body, whatever.
You have to change the diet.
It's right. It's a situation where any adjustment, any change, any whatever. He just muted Katie. Anything in that situation. It's difficult to have people change their natural practices. It's just a difficult situation with that, and we know that people aren't looking to change. That's the other thing. They don't want to change.
Yeah.
Which is that's the start of all of it. Right? You've got to want it, and people don't want it. And when they do want it is when they are horribly sick or horribly in getting a heart attack and whatever else. It's always retroactive. There's very few proactive people when it comes to feeling better about your life. And in your youth, you think you're amazing and you think you're never going to die, so you don't do this. Let's move on to another topic, because we've been doing this one ad nauseum. Give a topic. This is where you take off mute and you tell your next topic, and I'm still on mute and you're not telling me your next topic. Do not have a next topic. Katie's fucking. I will go. All right, we will move on. So the next topic that I want to talk about is my favorite thing, which is religion. So apparently, the Vatican, so I didn't know this, by the way. But the Vatican, quote unquote, won't say if women can vote in the 2023 church meeting. Now I'm going to leave that there. And the reason I'm going to leave that there is because if you think this is remotely appropriate, and if these are the people that you're following, i.e. this entire religion that still won't let women vote, I chuckle. And I laugh at you as a people.
You should chuckle.
Right? Because this is ridiculous.
It's a mockery.
How are these people who won't let women vote, apparently, because whatever stupid reason that was given back in 16, it was, how is it still standing is comedic to me. And the fact that this even needs to be written in an article and somebody still can't even decide.
But here's the thing. This is them being progressive.
How is that? They just said that gay people were, quote unquote, okay, whatever, right? Years back, a couple of years ago, if that. Women still can't vote. Gay people you were just okay with a couple of years ago, F off. Period. Right? This is foolish. And if this is the guiding light that a great man will follow, think about yourselves again, people. I don't understand how this is possible. Like, I would love for somebody to explain to me how this is appropriate, period. And it frustrates me to no end because it is foolish. And you're following people who are reading out of a storybook that was written back God knows when. It's a lovely fairy tale. And it is just comedic to me. But I move on now. That's my religious rant.
I'm with you. So, California. Puff has lived there 2 or 3 times, I believe. 2 times?
Twice.
Twice. Governor Newsom, how can I say the name? You know, there's I don't know if there's an actual recall going on, or there's
going on right now.
Right.
The recall election is happening right now. People are
have you heard who supposedly is the likely replacement if he gets recalled?
It's I think the ballot. I don't know who the likely replacement is. I'm assuming somebody horrible.
This coon, Larry Elder, the black,
really,
conservative.
Again, somebody horrible, like I said.
Polls. So I don't know if you saw or heard what he said recently. When interviewing with the how do I put this nicely? The jackass Candace Owens. He was talking about slavery, and Candace Owens, she loves to come off as smart. She's not. Like there's certain people I don't agree with, and I think they're brilliant, right?
Name one. I'm curious, actually. I don't mean putting you. I'm just curious. Brilliant,
okay, not brilliant, but I think Ben Shapiro is smart. I think he's a smart individual.
Okay.
I think 95% of stuff I don't agree with, but I think he's. And it's just I think that Candace is just not smart. The only smart thing is she's picked her angle and is bathing off of it. She's making money off of this angle and being a complete sellout jackass. I don't want to besmirch somebody too much, but anyway,
too much. Okay, there's a limit.
She foolishly was stating, "Oh, you know, America was one of the first countries in the world to abolish slavery."
Abolish slavery. Mm-hmm.
She was wrong. It's one of the last ones. And Larry corrected her on that, but then was talking about do we really want to go down the reparations path? And we've talked about this in the past, because the slave owners were affected in their loss of property, so perhaps they should be entitled to compensation as well, like was done in England. And it's like, are we really having this discussion in 2021? Like that's your response to a reparations conversation is slippery slope, and perhaps they should be entitled to compensation because back then it was legal and they lost their property, so they should receive compensation. That's who could be governor of California, and evidently there's a good chance if you were to bet, that's who you should be betting on.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the ballot, and the ballot's insane. And I didn't know about people on the ballot. It's got
Caitlyn Jenner's on there too, right? I think those are the 2 leading GOP candidates.
Yeah, which is, I mean, if that doesn't say enough of the world we live in, I don't know what does, right? Because that's just ridiculous on so many levels. But yeah, no, it's happening right now. I've got friends who are voting right now in that situation. I think it's foolish, but no, don't get me wrong. I think Newsom did himself some horrible. The dude was an idiot.
He's also hypocritical, right? With the
correct. That's my point, right? He went to dinner and caused a whole ruckus about it, whatever, saying stay at home, and then he went to dinner. And not went to dinner, like he went to dinner like the place to go to dinner, and was seen and spotted because obviously you're in the public eye and ain't nobody else out there doing stuff. So the dude was an idiot. And do I think that specific action should cost him all this stuff? Do I know California is uber expensive in general, which has a lot of people up in arms? It is. However, California's got a lot of issues in regards to independent of social issues. You've got resource issues. You've got fire issues. You've got water drought issues. You've got all these things that are going on, and the state is massive. And to have it in the hands of somebody who is horribly underqualified is a big, big, big mistake. Right now, the other negative associated with having somebody come in there on the GOP side is that there's going to be a Senate seat up for that one, and it's probably going to go as well, which will take away from the current majority that Democrats have, small that it is. So there is huge repercussions from this for the rest of the country on multiple sides, which is why I hope that it doesn't, that there's enough votes to kind of not go the in my view a wrong way. But we'll soon find out.
You still have a Cali license? Maybe.
No, I'm Florida.
We should talk about this off record.
Taxes, dog. Come on now.
Oh yeah, sure.
Bro, I didn't get a Cali license for a long time. Again, taxes, right? Yeah. It's all of that. So it's crazy here. And yeah, so it's crazy what's happening. I mean, it's a really, really interesting situation that's going on there in California right now, and we shall soon find out what's going to happen with all of that. And then whatchamacallit, and we'll keep this episode short, but I just want to, right now, that the topic of mind is Texas and the abortion situation. There's a lot that goes on with that. The abortion thing is what everybody's latched onto, rightfully so. There is also all the voting aspects that people have forgotten about, because this one is more pressing currently, apparently. But all of that was included in the bill that was passed. So there's a lot of negatives going on in that situation.
By the way,
relates to Texas.
Go on. I'll talk in a second. No,
I'm just saying, it was just, it's that. Continue. Jump in.
Coincidentally, I love to read these bills and everything. I pulled up a document last night that was 1,024 pages.
You read it?
Hell no. So evidently I didn't know the process to start a bill. It's the intro stuff. So this was back from 2018. They've been kind of working on this stuff.
Yeah. Texas has passed. Yeah.
So there's 1,024. And I'm the nerd who likes to read this, but no, not touching it. No.
It's aggressive.
So yeah. But did you know in one county they actually opened up, which was a predominantly white county. It actually made voting easier in that county versus the other ones where they got rid of the
24-hour ballots,
and just making it harder for the Tejano community and the Black community to vote. I mean, it's blatant.
No, it's that.
Because we've seen that rising Democratic vote in Texas, in the last few elections.
Yeah, also been possible going purple this year or going blue this year. So it's a big thing. So that was and the abortion.
I mean, geez, yeah. Wow.
But the way they're enforcing it is pretty. I mean, well done to the lawyer who came up with that idea, right?
The snitching aspect of it, or what?
One more time.
The snitching aspect of it, or what?
Yeah, because that's the way they get around the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but
so
I mean, that's just all kind of. It goes back to like Nazi Germany and stuff, and it's just.
But again, we've made enough
Nazi references.
Nazi references as it relates to the current GOP. It doesn't even matter anyway. So double down on it, guys. What I will give the GOP in general is they will double down on everything, and it has worked to their favor time and time again. And the Democrats are the opposite side, and just
you can argue they fight tooth and nail for what they want.
No, I give them props. They do what they want to attain. They will attain.
Speaking of, just learned this stat. Did you know 30% of Democratic state representatives are people of color, compared with less than 3% Republican? I have to verify that. Just interesting.
That doesn't faze me at all. I mean, it's one of these things that, yes, I would expect that. I would expect that disparity. Yes.
Yeah.
I wish that's why. And that.
I wish people of color would not automatically go Democrat, even though, quite frankly, the other option is worse, in my opinion. I just hate, because it's assuming, and in so many different communities, Democratic Party hasn't done shit, which is how an AOC came about. Right?
It's the same thing, but the same thing on all sides, right? If you're raised in certain parts of the South, you will 9 out of 10 times go Republican, and if you're born in certain areas, you will 9 out of 10 times go Democrat. And a lot of people who are going one way or the other, not everybody, are uneducated about the specifics of one or the other. Beyond, we are a Republican family, we're Democrat. That's kind of what has been in this country for a long period.
You've been Democrat registered? No, independent your whole life?
No, I was independent my whole life because I don't like any of them. But
philosophically,
I choose a lesser of two evils.
Yeah, philosophically, I guess I've been independent for over a decade, but I still registered Democrat because I don't want to lose my primary vote.
You're voting the primary, and I don't. So for me, it's I choose a lesser of two evils, in my opinion, obviously. In many times it doesn't work in my favor, especially in Florida, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, I just found either way.
Real quick, did you know that there's an R. Kelly trial going on?
I did, because again, that was the link that I put in there. Continue.
Hold on. No, I put that in there, jackass.
I'm playing. That was you, not me.
Oh, okay.
That was you, not me.
But I feel like it hasn't gotten much press.
Not if you know,
like,
the world is literally burning around us. So
R. Kelly makes Bill Cosby look like the Pope. Well, probably a bad reference to Catholic Christian Church.
No, I'm okay with it.
No, because Catholic Church, they probably are worse.
They're probably on the same level.
Yes. So, makes it look like a very nice guy, Bill Cosby. The details of this R. Kelly stuff is wow. Oh,
give us
disgusting.
Give us a teaser because I've not read it.
Controlling, marrying Aaliyah. Okay, the easier things. Marrying Aaliyah when she was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Did he change? He had to become her. He had to change become her guardian or something like that.
Admit that they helped that out, but like these girls who are 16, 18, 19. Like entrapping them, controlling when they can use the bathroom, things of that nature, knowingly infecting them with herpes, things that when they say they want to use protection, taking one girl is accusing her of taking feces because he was mad at her and rubbing it in her face because he was mad. We've always heard
he had to touch feces then with his hand.
Yeah. It's also weird. It's also weird. We walk our dogs and we take these little plastic bags and pick up poop and throw it. It's nasty.
Yeah.
We would never do that with human poop. I would pass out if I accidentally had to take a bag out of my own crap. But we do it with dogs.
Do that for your kids.
But we do that with dogs. Yeah, I guess we do the kids. It's a weird mental. I don't know.
It's poop, man. Ain't nothing weird about it. It's poop.
But some poop is better. It's a weird disconnect.
No. It's also, if you had a big dog, you'd be thinking differently. If you had one of those big dogs, it'd be like, whoa. Yeah. It's like a cow. It's like, what are we doing?
No. My next dog is like a cow. It's not human. Definitely not. Anyway, back to R. Kelly. It's sad what these girls went through. They're even saying they did that interview a couple years ago on TV with the lady Oprah's famous friend. I think that's what she's famous. Gayle King.
Gayle, yeah.
And they're saying that they were actually prepped for the interview, like in they were still under the stress and the pressure of R. Kelly. It's sad, these details, and I'm surprised it's not getting more buzz.
And a lot of it too is these girls are really, really, really young, i.e., really, it's easier for him to control them. They're impressionable. That's the right word. Yeah. So it's easy for him to control them, which is sad in so many ways. I don't know many of the specifics. One, because in my mind, he is guilty and horrible of the things that I've heard. He's a predator. But because I've already made that determination,
it doesn't interest you. Yeah,
that's why I'm waiting to see what the sentencing looks like. If the details beyond what I already know only further exacerbate not my anger, but just my distaste for him. So I don't actually follow any of that because the dude is just.
You got anything else, or are we done? Famous heirs in the bedroom.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Coming!
I'm at a loss for this. Oh, as a little random note, a lot of electric cars are coming in nowadays, right? Which is a good thing, by the way.
Do any look good?
Some look decent. Like there's a Mercedes G-Wagon that looks decent that's coming out there. There's a Pulsar that's coming out there, whatever. But in all these electric cars, I see a lot of lighting, like ambient lighting the grill.
Is that in the marketing or absolutely in the?
I don't know. The car looks that way.
It's a future. It's trying to get like a future vibe motif.
Yeah, everybody's trying to put this funky, cool lighting or whatever. But I'm like, isn't that really draining the battery that I need to drive my car? Like, why are you putting so many lights on this thing? Like, don't we keep the two in the front and the one little dome light like regular and the one couple in the back? Like, why do we need all this subtle lighting? Like, isn't that killing my battery that I want to use? I just don't understand the dynamic of all the lights. And it was confusing. I saw the G-Wagon and the whole grill is lit up and all the stuff is there. And I don't understand why we need all the lights. Yes, that was a random aside.
Be better, justice over order. Eat better. Move better.
Move better?
Do something. Bust a sweat. Do something.
All right, it's been real. We'll talk soon.
Cool.